Hey to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Imaging Services, ChiroThin, Chiro Moguls, Mahalo Wellness, Chiro Health USA, The Goodman Factor, Chiropractic Rocks, Winner's Edge, Chiro Tax Pro, and Digital Hustle. Let's hustle.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 200 of the Chiro Hustle podcast. I'm your co-host, Luke Millette, and here's your host, Jim Chester.
So today we had the opportunity of interviewing Dr. Dr Trigo, and if you want to know more about his book, To Heal a Nation, stay tuned. So we have Dr. Trigo with us. So you are episode 200 of the Chiro Hustle podcast. And I know we don't have a whole lot of time on this episode, so we're going to go fast and furious with you and ask you the rundown of questions. I know you have a book that we'll touch on, To Heal a Nation. And I know that you have been second generation chiropractor and you're out in California. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited for this episode. Anybody that has especially if it's about chiropractic. So first of all, as we always do with our chiropractic podcast here at Chiro Hustle, we ask you to tell us your chiropractic story and what influenced you to become a chiropractor.
Dad was a chiropractor, so I got adjusted as a kid. And my whole life getting adjusted, I always got well. I got pulled out of line in 8th grade to not get a flu shot. And I was confused. Why are all my friends getting a shot and not me? And the nurse said, oh, your dad opted out. He's a doctor. And I'm like, well, he's a chiropractor. He doesn't do this. And so I went home and asked my dad, hey, Dad, this is what happened at school. Can you give me some insight? And, he started explaining innate wisdom and our inner healer and that God doesn't make junk and the body heals itself and that outside in flawed mentality was dangerous and that he wanted to keep us well-adjusted and fine-tuned and the immune system's controlled by nerves, not poisons and toxins and injectables.
Yeah, man, that's it's spot on. And I think that a lot of people need this message now more than ever. And I know that you wrote this book and it's freshly out in 2020, the year that we all thought was supposed to be perfect vision, or maybe it is still. It just depends on our reference point. So share with us about the book a little bit of the impetus behind it and, where you hope it goes.
The book is designed to put chiropractic in the front of the bus, not the back of the bus. People so often go to the chiropractor as a last resort. They've tried their pills and opioids and injections and steroids, and they've tried even spinal fusion and disectomies and laminectomies, or you name it, and then they still are in pain, and they come to me as a last resort. Well, if they read a book like this, and it educated them on the importance of taking care of your teeth, is just as important as taking care of your spine. If you leave your spine alone, it will rot away. All spines matter, and so you get adjusted and you can age gracefully. The Bible talks about man living 120 years. We're not supposed to get arthritis in our 3rd or 4th decade. And so the book brings a lot of awareness of the compounded effect of staying adjusted, eating healthy, exercising, and just having that kind of a lifestyle over the decades. And the earlier you start, the more the compound effect you'll see in the latter years.
And really quickly, what's the book called and where can people get it?
The book is called To Heal a Nation. I know it might be backwards right now because of the screen and the way it's posted, but it's called To Heal a Nation. It's available on Amazon. And it's got 17 chapters with goal setting and, what's in a vaccine, what's in a typical flu shot, and what those chemicals lead to. Stuff like toxicities and deficiencies as a chapter. I love chapter 7. It's called Against All Odds. It talks about the Manga Report, the Windsor autopsies, Masha and Dasha, all stuff that chiropractors aren't even taught anymore. And let's bring it back because there's greatness in our profession and it's getting buried under mainstream media with their $1 billion a day budget on drugs and pharmacy. And so let's bring back chiropractic. Let's get it to the forefront in our mind and let people learn the wellness lifestyle. And you put a little out for wellness, it pays huge dividends and you don't have to pay for sick care later.
So, can you share with our audience some of the mantras that you live your life by, or maybe some of your favorite motivational quotes?
Absolutely. One of them is by B.J. Palmer, early to bed, early to rise, work like hell and advertise. Well, that's the life of a chiropractor. If you think you can open your practice and there's going to be a line around the building, not unless this book goes viral. And so, I believe that don't worry about the money. Give the best care and love your patients. The money will come. And so I make it very affordable. I have I have a cash practice, rare these days, but I don't play the insurance game. I have a huge practice that actually grew during COVID, and educated patients refer. When the pandemic breaks out, there may be more down the line. Patients realize their immune system is controlled by nerves, and that it's important to go get my adjustment so that I can fight back from the inside out and have all my immune system organs working optimally. And, just it's all about, every day giving the best I got to help as many people. And I wake up realizing the Lord's blessed me with another day to put my hands on locked vertebra to free up subluxation and turn innate wisdom back on to let that person thrive again. And so I look forward to each and every day and what God has to bring. And I touch a lot of lives with that, with giving back love.
That's really, really powerful what you just said. And I know that right now there's a lot of misinformation when it comes to the nervous system being a direct impact on the immune system, and the spinal cord having a direct impact on the organ system, which controls the immunity and which it controls the nervous system. And I know that there's been a lot of misinformation that is kind of being stymied, if you will, within the medical world. And they're not talking, and like you said, the $1 billion a day, they're not talking about how people should eat well, think well, move well, get adjusted. They're talking about how we can have an outside-in source, which you found out that when you were in eighth grade or 8 years old?
8th grade.
When you were in 8th grade, your dad opted you out because he believed that was incongruent with healthy lifestyle. And I think that right now we're being brainwashed into this idea that healthy lifestyle is an outside-in perspective. And the mainstream media wants you to think that it's going to be an injection, or it's going to be a cut it out or burn it out type of lifestyle. And how much can we drug somebody into submission to heal their body?
And that's why I brought up Masha and Dasha in the book. These are conjoined twins that share the same bloodstream, but yet get sick separately. And this is not just Masha and Dasha. This is a common phenomenon we see with conjoined twins throughout the world, that they have their own separate spines, and that different levels of locked vertebra crush different levels of the nerves, giving the sisters or the brothers different symptoms. So one can have 103-degree fever while the other one's 98.6. And if it's germs, they would both be sick, but yet we don't see that in conjoined twins. And so I like how you said move well, think well, eat well. I have a chapter called Move Well. I have a chapter called Think Well. I have a chapter called Eat Well, and I'm not there to teach them how to work out. I'm there to give them the inspiration of the different types of workouts and all the benefits of working out, inspiration to do it, to get off that couch and move that body. Eating well is very, very important also. You were right with that. And you can either feed your body for life or, give it disease. What you eat matters. And but people are neglecting their spine. They're neglecting their spine, and that's a crime, because they think they're healthy by jogging on the beach and going to the gym religiously, eating their broccoli, but yet they're got a locked vertebra that's rotting away, and the nerve atrophies and getting more and more sickness and range of motion loss and inflammation, and it's avoidable. That's why I wrote the book. I want to fully educate the world that flood chiropractic offices worldwide, because it'll be a lot better place. Even the Manga report in chapter 7 talks about a 35-year study in Canada where all the work comp back patients were taken away from the medical mindset and the medical model and given to chiropractic. And that 35-year study, the average was 4 to 6 visits, and these back pain patients were back to work. There was no opioid addictions. There was no surgeries. There was no trying to get them new jobs and rehab. And no, it saved the country billions of dollars, yet nobody knows about the Manga report. Why not? It's in the book. We got to bring it back. We got to get this book to go viral because it's all about divine design. God doesn't make junk. Amen.
Amen. Yeah, man. And listening to you, you fire me up because, you're episode 200 of the show, and Luke and I have produced over 800 interviews in the past 3 years, and we just keep on banging the drum. And I think that that's what we need to do. I think if I could do anything to get more people to promote chiropractic, I came into the profession 11 years ago, Dr. Jeff, and I was like, well, if we know what is going to be the biggest trend in health and wellness, and I grew up in Davenport, Iowa, I know that chiropractic is going to be the biggest trend in health and wellness. So if I could help promote the chiropractic profession with our time, talent, and treasure, then we are going to be able to put a megaphone on your voice. And that's really what we've been doing with 2 documentaries on the profession, supporting people like, natural healers, chiropractors on their messaging, because a lot of times they don't have the resources or the connection to get their voice out there. If they go on mainstream media spins it to where they're just neck pain, back pain specialists. They talk about backpacks, or they talk about, things like that. But when we really want to get down to it, right now we're under more stress than ever. And when people want to talk about, staying healthy, like, we're in a technology era, and we're under, like, back when chiropractic started. By the way, tomorrow's chiropractic's 125th anniversary. And
Woo!
and the thing is, Dr. Jeff, is when people think about living healthy, they just are so confused because there's so much misinformation from the technology that they're attached to. And what they don't realize is the technology they're attached to is ruining that beautiful spine. It's ruining the curves of the neck and the curves of the thoracics and the curves of the lumbar. So I love what you're doing. And that's why when I saw you post in our group, I'm like, hey, I want to connect with Dr. Jeff and let him share his why about this book so we can maybe get some more information out about it.
This truly is a modern day chiropractic green book. A lot of the philosophy is not even taught anymore. And, you have to give the patient simple, profound, easy to understand analogies. And so when I hold a spine and I shift it posterior and you see that nerve get impinged upon, at the same time I grab the dimmer switch and I dim the lights as I'm talking to them, showing them the loss of the neural electrical impulse that's going through that line. And when I mention the word adjustment and I shift the bone back and it shows the IVF pop back open, that's when I throw the lights back on. And little things like that stick in their minds. You got to not glaze them on the first visit. And I don't care how good I think I'm explaining the subluxation complex, which is present in all vertebrates, they don't remember. And they come back with the same questions. And I don't care how laser beam focused I am, they're thinking of lunch. I don't know what they're thinking about, but that's why I wrote the book. The book's going to make it stick. The book has case studies in chapter 6. It's called The Powerful Piezoform. And it's not just back pain. We've got a girl who was misdiagnosed with fibromyalgia, endometriosis, migraines with aura, irritable bowel syndrome. This poor 17-year-old, they wanted to do exploratory surgery on her. And then that's when her mother, the nurse, said, no, enough's enough. Found some good Yelp reviews, which matter. Chiropractors, get your patients to leave you good reviews. Found me through good reviews on those social media apps. And you know what? We saved her life. She is now a 20-year-old thriving, drug-free, surgery-free, holds a job down and everything. Everything started working again on her body. And I had to talk about her in the book. There's many cases like that. It's not just back pain. It's frozen shoulder and a couple neck adjustments, and the shoulder was unfrozen. I didn't even touch the shoulder, and I can't tell you how often they're diagnosing rotator cuff tears. And I kid you not, you take a MRI where there's a rotator cuff tear and show it to 16 different MDs, are going to point all to a different spot. adjust 5 and 6. That innervates the shoulder, give back the power to the nervous system to be able to lift the shoulder, and, try that first. And so there's a lot of meaning behind this book, and we really got to get the book to be mainstream so that people are thinking, my God, my body does self-heal. I need adjustments. More important than brushing your teeth. You can get a new tooth, but you can't get a new spine. You know what I mean?
You made it to Chiro Hustle. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Imaging Services, ChiroThin, Chiro Moguls, Mahalo Wellness, Chiro Health USA, The Goodman Factor, Chiropractic Rocks, Winner's Edge, Chiro Tax Pro, and Digital Hustle. Let's hustle.
So where do you see chiropractic going in the next 20 years?
My job with this book is to promote it forever. And if the book goes viral, there should be lines around every chiropractic office. When you go to Costco and you see the line at the pharmacy, okay? I want that line empty, and I want the line at the chiropractic office, okay? And it's going to take something profound to make that happen. And so I'm going to have to mail a book to Trump. I'm going to have to mail a book to Oz, to Dr. Oz, to Oprah Winfrey, to professional athletes that I quoted in here. I don't know if you guys know this, but Aaron Rodgers his dad's a chiropractor. And the chapter called Athletic Edge, where we talk about concussion and brainstem pressure and athletic edge, and how important it is for that millisecond of the response time from first place to third place, and all that's controlled by nerves. And I put a lot of professional athletes' quotes in there, and Aaron Rodgers' quote was something like, he contributes his long, luxurious, successful career to his dad, who was a chiropractor, who was giving him adjustments, and to his mom for the things that he taught for nutrition. And, we got to get this book and athletes and news talking wellness. And I see more schools opening up. I see enrollment up. I see lines around the chiropractic building instead of the pharmacy if we do our job.
There's some pretty unique ways that you're going to be marketing this book. How do you market your practice to get new patients in the door?
Educated patients refer. I can go out and grab a new patient easy. But if my 5,000-6,000 patients are going out and grabbing one each also, you're doubling your practice. So patient has to know the importance of subluxation. When they come in and they say, oh, doc, it hurts right here. Oh, what do you think that is? Just another time to educate them. What do you think that is? And they either say, I have a subluxation, doc, or they say some other story, and then I know they don't get it. And I go, well, let me see, does it hurt right here? Yeah. What do you think that is? And I point to the subluxation poster. And I hammer that home. And you know what? Educated patients refer. So I believe to grow your practice, you need to have about at least 40 tributaries. And maybe one's a church, one's your softball team, one's the 5 or 10 attorneys referring to you. There's your, all the things you're doing, all the hobbies, all the locals, your networking groups. I mean, you basically need a boat with fish, on every hook, 40 fishing poles on the water. And if one of them, the bait gets lost, you're not even going to affect it. You're not even going to be affected because you got 39 other poles that have bait on it. And so the more tributaries, the better. And that's how you grow your river of life. And that's how you expand. And, something profound, just in the state of California, we have maybe 9,000 active chiropractors and with a license, 10,000 chiropractors. We have 700,000 attorneys. Every chiropractor should be working with at least 10 attorneys that are referring. And so, with that said, that's if you do PI. I have a cash practice. I do PI. I don't bother with insurance. I keep the copay very affordable as full pay and keep the doors open.
I love you. I think what you're sharing is very important for our audience. I have a question for you. We'll go on a speed round. Who are your top 3 chiropractic heroes?
My dad. He's in heaven now. He influenced me with chiropractic. Coach C.J. Mertz. I don't know if you guys know C.J. Mertz, but I got some training from him in the turn of the century, and a lot of great paradigms, and a lot of eye openers. And Clarence Gonstead, man, with his compound he built, and the size of that, and the cajones it took back then with a landing strip and a mall. Oh my God, that's legendary. Clarence Gonstead, wow. There's a great right there. Throw in BJ, who promoted it, Didi, who likes to be the founder, but I got news for you guys. There's turtle shells with etchings 2,000 years ago showing technique, So, chiropractic's been around a long time, but my ultimate healer is Jesus, because you can just touch his robe and you're good.
So tell me, Jeff, you're the last chiropractor in the world. Will the profession survive?
The profession has to survive, but we need the schools to step it up. I don't think the schools are doing an adequate enough job of really creating black belt chiropractic adjusters when they get out of school. I don't think the student knows anything about marketing when they get out. I think they get overinvested. I think they need to just have low overhead when they get out and just rent a room from somebody. Don't give a percentage deal, because as soon as you start making big money, you're going to have to find your own place. Just rent a room and, learn all you can in school, and then pick veterans, pick their brains, learn technique. I'll teach a student anytime, anywhere. They can shadow and watch, but we need the schools to step it up with their philosophy and their technique, and get off the medical mindset and back us better,
So what are some other books that you might be in the middle of reading at this time?
How Grace Changes Everything by Chuck Smith. It's a great book. I'm always reading. I just got done with writing this book, and I spent a lot of time with research and all. And so I've kind of been doing a lot of marketing right now. And I have my daily scriptures and my daily devotionals and the men's group and whatnot, and I'm always in God's Word. That, of course, is my favorite book. But I never stop learning, never stop training. I always love listening to Jim Rohn. He's I have quotes from him in the book. Tony Robbins is in the book. There's inspirational quotes and goal-setting tools throughout the book. And, the goal is that iron sharpens iron, and keep your pisiforms well-polished and connected to the streets, because if you're behind closed doors, you're not making a difference. You got to get out there.
So what do you do in your free time? What are some of your hobbies? What do you do for fun?
I like that you said bang the drum. I'm a drummer. I've been in many bands. I'm in a church band. We do some gospel stuff. Sometimes we get the secular band together from high school for the 50th reunion thing. So love skiing. Play third base in the men's softball league, bat leadoff. Love that. Love soccer. I used to hunt and fish a lot, but that's kind of gotten away from me lately. But drums to the wheels fall off. Nothing like. Love jazz, love Buddy Rich, that kind of drums. Neil Peart, we lost a great drummer this year. I love basketball. Go Lakers.
Well, I know that you got patients probably lined up around the door here in about 4 minutes. So just want to thank you so much for being our guest today on episode 200 of the Chiro Hustle podcast. Where would you send people if they want to get a copy of your book?
Right now it's available on Amazon. Go to Amazon, click the search bar, put into Healing Nation. It's this green one here. You'll see it. And just don't buy it. Put reviews that are very honest and heartfelt so that we can reach more people. My goal is not just to people brag about the book or the knowledge from the book. My goal is to see reviews that one day state something like this. I live in Nebraska. I live in New Jersey, Montana. And because of this book, I was no longer in fear, but I went to seek out a chiropractor, and he changed my life, and I got my job back, or I can earn for my family again, or my migraines are gone. And, I want to see profound changes in the world like that. Not just, oh, the book's great. I want to say the book drove me to go to a chiropractor, and the chiropractor saved my life. That's making a difference. That's the kind of stuff I want to see.
Do you have any personal or business websites of your own that people could go to as well?
Trigo, chiropractic.com. That's Trigo, chiropractic.com. And there is a link there where it'll redirect you over to the Amazon, and there's a YouTube link too about to Healing Nation, and it's pretty much on purpose subluxation based website that is designed to just educate, and like I said, educated patients are the ones that refer. You want to grow your practice, educate your patients.
Hey, Doc, thank you for being our guest today. We love and appreciate you. And I love the pies of form, man. I'll give you one too.
It's a high pie. Not a high five, a high pie.
All right, man. We'll stay in touch, okay?
Thanks for having me on episode 200. God bless you all.
God bless you.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to Chiro Hustle. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.